Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, December the 9th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and we are back, joined once again by Zach Urban, back with us on another Saturday edition of the show. And playing through pain. This is a hockey show after all. And you got to play through injury. You got to play through pain. You got to play when you're less than 100% sometimes. Zach is doing that today, gutting it out for us here on this edition of the Ice Guys. Zach, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
Good. Well, aside from the sciatic back pain you
other than that,
currently experiencing. Yeah. All good, no doubt. What a day yesterday. We'll be brief because it's a huge card. We'll jump right into the games, but just briefly on last night. 2-0 sweep with the bargain bin special of the night. And look, it's gold just having one of the two cash when Alex and I give out a bargain bin play. But to have both of them cash last night, I was on Adam Fantilli for the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 380. He ends up scoring in the first period against St. Louis. And then Alex really went into the bargain bin, looked at Evan Bouchard for the Edmonton Oilers, plus 500. Not only does he scores in the first period, and he scores the first goal of the game. And he ended up having a 2-goal night and a terrific, I think he had 3 or 4 points last night as well for Edmonton in their 4-3 victory against Minnesota. So he had a terrific night. So that is plus, you do the math, that's plus 880 worth of winners with the two bargain bin specials of the night last night. So that was awesome to see. A miracle upon miracles for me with the Blues and Blue Jackets over 6.5 last night. We'll take it. It got there somehow with a lot of late goals in the third period, including empty net magic in the final 2 minutes. So 5-2 Columbus. That was nice to me to see that. I needed some good luck for a change with that. And we finally got some with that best bet on St. Louis Columbus over 6.5 last night. The team total for Edmonton cashed in. It was a pretty good night overall. And the Pittsburgh Penguins I'm convinced they're never going to score a fucking power play goal again at this point. Like this is, what is it, 0 for 36 now after last night's game against Florida. They lose again 3-1. A team meeting. Didn't do anything. Still another loss, another dormant night offensively for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and a power play that just can't get out of their own way. Alex, some thoughts from you on the Friday slate?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to hit for both of us to hit our bargain bin winners, but especially on a short Friday card when there's not a lot of great things. But we both like those spots, and to get them to cash early, I think Fantilli was the first goal for Columbus, if I'm not mistaken, right, in that first period. So both of us getting the first goal for each of their respective teams. And like I said, it's just super lucky to get the that magic
second goal. Actually, Fantilli got the second goal. Yeah,
right, second goal of the game, right, and that was tied up. So that was Columbus. Yeah. I think that was their first, but yeah. But and so in looking at that Edmonton game with Minnesota, I was really happy with that game. The only thing that missed was both teams to score in the first period. But other than that, the way that I called it on the show was perfect to a T. I was waiting for Minnesota to jump out to a lead. Of course, we had the crazy second period where you had about three goals in the span of about a minute and a half. Then tying the game up, but we had enough time to where Minnesota jumped out and got a lead, but you could still see the momentum was mostly on Edmonton's side. We were able to let that money line number get up to plus 160, and then we hammered on that. Edmonton comes back to tie it. They come back to win it and get the 4-3 win. So those are spots we'd love to see, especially when attacking live betting, having those things kind of line up for us. So to have Bouchard and get the live winner in that game, I was very thrilled.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to see that come through. No question about that. Zach, how much of the games did you see last night? Any thoughts, takeaways you have from last night?
Yeah, I didn't really get to watch too much of it. My friend was at the Edmonton game though, so I was a little bit jealous of that. But I had a Christmas party to attend to with my girlfriend last night with her coworkers, I guess. So yeah, missed the whole slate pretty much for me.
I hope it was fun though. Those Christmas parties.
It was a pretty good time.
They can get a little spicy every now and then.
No doubt.
It was a long time. Like the last time I was at a Christmas work party was like the last office job I had, and that's like 13 years ago now. So It feels like, I've been out of that scene, the old work Christmas party for
Yeah,
a
you're
long,
not
long
missing
time.
much, buddy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just work for yourself now for the last decade doing this stuff that we love, though. All right, Saturday's card, we've got 3 matinee affairs, 3 games in the afternoon, and it begins at the top of the hour with Arizona and Boston. We got the Bruins minus 220 home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. The Bruins still going through this flu illness bug, whatever you want to call it, going through their dressing room right now. And this is a team that looked like they were playing under the weather the other night against the Buffalo Sabres. They just didn't look right. They didn't look well at all. They got badly outplayed, badly outshot by the Buffalo Sabres at home. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know about, just how much they're going through, a little. They're playing through it like nobody's sick badly enough that they're missing time and out of the lineup. But no, you can tell collectively the team's got a little something going through the team right now as far as an illness is concerned. There's also an injury concern for the Boston Bruins going into this game this afternoon, hosting the Arizona Coyotes, and that's the status of Charlie McAvoy. And we know he is hands down the best defenseman on this team. He is out for Boston with an upper body injury, so he will not play this afternoon for the Bruins. So that's a big loss for them. Linus Ullmark confirmed in net for the Bruins, and one of the hottest goalies in the National Hockey League right now confirmed in net for the Arizona Coyotes, and Connor Ingram, who is back in between the pipes. He's had a spectacular few weeks, really a month of really solid play in between the pipes for Arizona. He'll get the start for them today in this game. Configuration for the Bruins here on the blue line, minus Charlie McAvoy today, and it means you're going to probably see more minutes for Hampus Lindholm, Brandon Carlo, Matt Grzelcyk, Kevin Shattenkirk. Ian Mitchell draws into the lineup. Mason Lowry back into the mix again on the blue line for Boston. If you're wondering who's going to man the power play for Boston without McAvoy on the number 1 unit, that's going to be Hampus Lindholm stepping into that role for the Bruins. So just from a prop standpoint, this might be the day maybe if you're going to look at, McAvoy now vacates that role. Lindholm takes it over. Lindholm might have some value in his player props here today as a result of that. We always talk about Zacha and Coyle. They've been very consistent for this team as far as offensive play is concerned. And for Arizona, prop-wise, Michael Carcone, with his 12 goals on the season, even though he's only on the third line, he's been great. So, and you can get plus 560 at Betano, the Ontario book, with him to score a goal. So incredible value there for Michael Carcone once again today for the Arizona Coyotes. I think this is just too big a number, too big of a price on Boston right now with, the flu bug, the illness that's going through the team. They're without their best defenseman. Arizona's a scrappy team, feisty. They've played really good hockey. They've got great goaltending from Ingram. I see this as a very tight, competitive game, and I think Arizona's got a puncher's chance. So this is dog and draw for me. Going to go Arizona plus 205. Going to go with Arizona-Boston draw as well at plus 380 at FanDuel. Alex, what do you think here? Coyotes, Bruins.
Yeah, draw makes a lot of sense too because I'm looking at a lot of these one-goal, decisions, and Boston had a stranglehold in the Coyotes for a while, but they finally were able to snap that streak that the Yotes had beaten them at home last year. And I think this is a good spot here to back Arizona. We got Ingram in net. Like I said, we've been riding him hot. You're getting plus 180. You're getting a Boston team that we've seen them kind of had some slow starts in some of these day games. That's the one thing. Boston has way more experience playing early than Arizona. Also, they're in the East Coast, so a little bit of a time clock difference as well, body clock difference. I think none of that's going to matter here. I think the Yotes are good enough to overcome those small intangibles, and having the fact that the Bruins are ill and missing a key player like McAvoy, there's enough here to where we can bet on the Yotes. So I like the Yotes plus 180. Draw makes sense. It didn't make my card, but I also did take a shot with the first period over 1.5 minus $1.20. We're just going with that, not going with both teams to score. Strong 13-6 run to the first period over the last 19 meetings with these two teams. So give me the first period over and give me the Yotes to pull the upset.
That's a strong trend, yeah. So the Arizona-Boston, the last 19 head-to-head meetings, 13 of them have gone over the first period total. So keep that in mind. Zach, what do you like in here, if anything, Coyotes and Bruins?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit on the over. I think Boston's going to come out hot to start, and then I think Arizona's going to kind of claw back a little bit, pick away at it. just because Boston seems to have pretty good starts at home, and on those matinee days, they seem to be pretty good at the start. So I think Arizona will weather the storm a little bit. So I think I'm just going to stick with the over on it, though.
Yeah, and again, the total's only 5.5. So, and I always say if you can make any sort of case or any sort of excuse to bet over at 5.5, do it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
you
just
don't
hoping
get-
that Ingram doesn't stand on his head today, because that'll hurt the over in my opinion. But he's been good, man.
he
Really
has
good.
been. Yeah, we've talked about this, Alex and I, repeatedly. This is the best school hockey he's played here in the NHL. All right, the second of 3 afternoon games. This is at 4 p.m. Eastern, late afternoon start. Playoff rematch, Vegas Golden Knights, Dallas Stars, Vegas minus 130, road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. This is getting to the point where, that you have to consider this. I think I've got this price wrong. Yeah, I do. I've got the wrong team. Okay, here we go. We'll change that. I was going to say Vegas is not favored here. Dallas is favored. So Vegas is round. Actually, it's going up actually right now. Minus 130. Yeah, minus 130 on Dallas. There we go. We'll just fix the graphic there. All right. So yeah, Dallas minus 130 home favorite, 6 the total here in this game tonight, or this afternoon. Vegas, it's getting to the point of ownage for them over Dallas. Obviously, they had the playoff series win last season in the Western Conference Final, and they've had 2 regular season meetings this year since last year's playoff series, and both of them won by Vegas. So if you're Dallas, you pretty much had it up to here with the Vegas Golden Knights coming into this game here this afternoon, as Vegas has just done a great job head-to-head. Vegas beat Dallas 3-2 in a shootout October 17th. And Vegas won in overtime 2-1 on November 22nd. So not only does Vegas have the West Final victory, they're 2-0 head-to-head against Dallas so far this year. You look at Dallas, obviously they're going to be amped up. They got history with this team. I think they're probably sick of losing to the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're coming off a 5-4 shootout win. But you look at the schedule here. They played 3 straight road games in a short period of time. They played 3 games in 4 nights, and this is actually going to be their 4th game now in 6 nights, coming back off the road from 3 after 3 road games. So not a great spot to be laying a price here with this Dallas Stars team, especially considering how Vegas has just dominated them here playoffs and so far this season. But more than anything else, this is just not a team I'm interested in going against right now, the Vegas Golden Knights, for one very clear reason: the dad's trip and the absolute dominance that the Vegas Golden Knights have had with the fathers joining them on a road trip to the tune of 8-0-1, 8 wins and 1 overtime/shootout loss in 9 games in franchise history that the Vegas Golden Knights have done the dad's trip. It's an unbelievable mark. And look, every team, I think, when their dads are with them on the dad's trip, they want to play well, they want to win, they want to put their best foot forward. But it's not always the case. You're not always going to win every game. This team has managed to do that pretty much. 8-0-1 again for the Vegas Golden Knights on their dad's trip historically over the last few years. And of course, the dad's trip for them started in St. Louis the other night, in which they got a comeback. And look, that's probably a reason why they came back and won that game and had the incentive to come back and win that game, because it didn't start well. They were down 3-1 against St. Louis, and they roared back with 5 unanswered to win 6-3 against the St. Louis Blues to start this dad's trip. So going to be interesting to see how this one goes for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the second part of this, it's a mini road trip, because actually they go back home and they face San Jose tomorrow night after this. So this is a very, very short trip here for the Vegas Golden Knights going into this game. So we'll see how it goes here with them here against the Dallas Stars. But I'm going to go with Vegas here, plus 110 in this game, short underdog price. And I also like the draw here as well. You can't deny what we have seen with Vegas and Dallas head-to-head. 2 regular season meetings this year, and both of them passed regulation, 1 in overtime, 1 in a shootout. So it's a Vegas and draw split for me here in this game. Alex, should be a good one. What do you like in here, Vegas, Dallas?
Yeah, and I do like the draw in this spot. Like, I grabbed this one kind of small, but I'm staying off of the side. And I know the Vegas dad trip, like I said, that's a very strong angle. Cash for us last year. Like I said, been cashing to the tune of 8-0-1. And I can see where this might be a close game, and if this goes OT, but like I said, the history of these 2 teams, I can see where Dallas might really gear up and want to try and get that second point should this one go past regulation. So staying off of a side for now, just playing the draw. Also, it's Dallas got to run with a 15-4 trend to that first period over. I grabbed that over 1.5 minus $1.25. This is a game I would maybe look to possibly sprinkle on both teams to score it, but you got to get plus 160 or higher for that because Vegas, we know how they're a little susceptible sometimes to tightening things up a little bit early. The Kings of the first period under as of right now. So we're relying more on Dallas to get that offense rolling and hopefully kind of draw the fight out of them. So I like that first period over a little bit more than both teams score.
The chat's onto it as well. Mason Marchment, we've been betting Mason Marchment almost every game lately for the Dallas Stars to score. He didn't score the other night, but did a couple nights ago. And you're still getting plus 370 with him to score a goal at FanDuel. So still the prices for how good he has been the last couple weeks, 380 actually at FanDuel, just outstanding price there. So you got to go back to the well with it, no question. Speaking of Mason Marchment, our guest here, Zach, he took Mason Marchment as a bargain bin special, of course, in his debut appearance on the ice, guys. So good vibes going with Mason Marchment. Everyone, essentially, good vibes with Mason Marchment on this show. Zach, what do you think here, Golden Knights Stars?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm leaning towards Vegas. Those stats, it's kind of hard to deny those with the dad's trip. It's pretty insane. I think it's going to be a little tight, too, so I'd probably sprinkle a little bit on the draw as well. Look at the history of these two teams. I think I'd probably put a little bit player prop on Sagan as well over a point. I like the way he's been playing lately, and it really doesn't seem like he's slowing down. It seems like he likes hockey again, which is good to see because he was pretty miserable for a few years there for sure. But
that's a good way to put it. He actually, there's been times where Tyler Sagan is like, is there any joy in this for you, man?
You could see it on his face. Like, and he was getting publicized pretty bad with Jamie Benn. I don't know what year it was, but they were getting ripped apart pretty hard in the media. And it's kind of been nice for those guys with the players that Dallas has been able to bring in and how good they've been to kind of get the pressure off those guys. And now those guys are kind of filling the void that they need to fill at that time in their career. So it's made Dallas a pretty dangerous team for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely would agree with that. And like I say, Sagan's playing well. That's another good player prop if you're going to look in the Dallas direction at anything. Sagan with 4 points in the last 6 games. Entering this matchup here this afternoon against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas for them lately, it's been kind of more by committee. We've really been waiting for the Eichels and the Marchessaults and the big guns to really start rolling for them. I mean, Karlsson continues to be one of the better offensive options for them right now. Even Michael Amadio, close shave Barbashev, those three in particular, I would consider, them as some value options. But finally, in the St. Louis win, we saw Eichel and Marchessault both contribute and score in the same game. That hasn't always happened lately for the Golden Knights. So we'll see if that gets them going a little bit. All right, next up, another afternoon game, the last of the afternoon games today on this Saturday slate. New Jersey Devils, Calgary Flames. We've got New Jersey minus 120, road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. If you watch Devils Kraken the other night, the ESPN late game, Devils got away with one against Seattle. They got badly outplayed, badly outchanced. And that's just Seattle is just, as we said, they're snake bit right now. They can't buy a win. They play great, they lose. They play awful, they lose. That's Seattle right now. They just can't buy one. But I definitely saw positive signs from them. New Jersey got away with it, and it was a brilliant effort in net. Brilliant, in fact, from Akira Schmid, especially in the third period. He was absolutely spectacular. And if that's not incentive for Lindy Ruff to finally say, got to roll with him now. He has clearly outplayed Vitek Vanacek lately. Not even debatable right now that Schmid's been better than Vitek Vanacek. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this New Jersey team plays here this afternoon again, or who they go with in net. Nobody's confirmed yet. So it's a hard game to move on from a betting perspective right now until we know who's in net, really on both sides. Because if it's Vanacek and Vladar, that's an over just waiting to happen with the Devils and the Flames if it's those two goalies right now, because neither one's had a great season. Vladar for Calgary and obviously Vanacek for New Jersey.
Their stats are almost identical.
Yeah. For who?
Crazy. Both they have an 877 save percentage, and one's got a 345 goals against, and one's got a 360.
Yeah, that's not good. It's basically El Stinko. Is what you're saying for both of those guys right now. Not good enough as far as goaltending from either one. But there's also, I think this could go either way. This could be Vanacek Vladar. This could be Vanacek Dustin Wolf maybe getting another start because he was so good against Carolina in the third period the other night. It could be Schmid and Vladar. It could be Schmid and Wolf. I mean, it could be different. Everything's open. Everything's on the table here, I think, in this Devils Flames game. I still am interested in the over, even like Schmid and Wolf would concern me a little bit for the over. Schmid's obviously played a little bit better lately than Vanacek, and Wolf when he's on his game. He's going to be a good one long term in this league as a future number one goalie. But you can't deny the series history either. And the series history with the Devils versus the Flames, my good, especially in Calgary. Look at these games in Calgary since 2017. 5-4, 9-4, 5-2, 6-3, 4-3. I mean, one bonanza after another as far as scoring. The last 4 or 5 meetings in Calgary between the Devils and the Flames. That's hard to ignore that. So I think I like the over regardless, but I really like it if we get a Vanacek sighting in net and possibly Vladar sighting in net for Calgary as well. So definitely like this over. Might sprinkle on the draw because you look another draw. And now it's I swear I'm not betting every draw today. It's just the way it's worked out here in the first 3 games. But the draw, I think, makes some sense here. Calgary's playing a lot of close games. Look at Calgary lately. 3-2 with Carolina, 4-3 with Vancouver, overtime games at home against Dallas and Vegas. You know, they are playing really tight, close, competitive games right now. So the draw does make sense to me. And same with Jersey. Jersey had the overtime win against Philly. The Islander game almost went to overtime. The Vancouver and the Seattle games, the last 2 for Jersey, almost went to overtime. 1-goal game, both of them. So I do think the draw is in play here, plus 360 at FanDuel. And I like the over a little bit here in this game as well. Like the over a lot more if we get the goalies I'm hoping for. What do you think here, Alex? Good one, New Jersey, Calgary.
Yeah, this will be a good one. Like you said, everything's kind of up in the air because of the fact that we don't know who the goalies are. And you know, this is one of those rare things where normally, okay, in this spot, it wouldn't matter. I can just go to my notes and just kind of see, you know, whichever combination we get, kind of plug and play. But we're talking about such a wide variance. Dustin Wolf, numbers aside, is the better of the 4 goalies that we could see out of this combination. Dan Vladar is the worst. So now when you have that kind of split, I have to kind of juggle around. Okay, like I said, Vanacek's not in the best of form right now. He's the guy we're looking for more for overs. But at the same time, if it's Vladar, I'd love to take New Jersey, but I'm not taking New Jersey money line with Vanacek. I'd rather have Schmidt. So until we get something settled out, I'll play this. This will be something I'll tweet out. But right now, I've got nothing. I need some questions answered.
No doubt. Cuban, you've touched and hit on the chat what I was about to get to as far as props. Connor Zary, you got to bet right now for Calgary as well. He's been excellent. He's been absolutely terrific for the Calgary Flames. He's, I think, had points in the majority of his games since he's been called up and put in the lineup by Ryan Huska, and he continues to be doing a nice job. But you're right, that's the obvious one, and that's the one I was going to mention. Yes, we've got the Tyler Toffoli return to Calgary, now as a member of the New Jersey Devils. You know how uncanny it is that the player against his former team, especially the first game against his former team, how he ends up making an impact, scoring a goal, making something happen offensively. Not great. I mean, it's only plus 180 for Tyler Toffoli to score a goal, but I think you got to look in that direction, even with the price not as good as the bigger plus money we usually like to look for. But still, I think it's worth a look. And same with Igor Sharangovich. This guy's eventually going to break through offensively. He can't play on the top line as many games in a row as this guy has, and not eventually expect the puck to go in. And he's had chances. I've seen it. He's had chances. The puck's just not going in. Goalie stopping him. He hit the crossbar once or twice the last week or two. But look, he's playing his old team. They traded him away from New Jersey to Calgary in that Toffoli deal. So I think both sides of the equation here. Toffoli for Jersey against his old team. Sharangovich for Calgary against his old team. Definitely good props here in this game. Zach, what do you think about your Flamers here? New Jersey.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ride the over on this one. I think Vanacek's going to get the start because New Jersey's playing in Edmonton tomorrow, and then they get a couple days off before they're playing Boston. So unless something's going on with Schmid or Schmidt, whatever his name is, which I don't think there's probably anything going on with the way he's been playing. So it only makes sense for me on that side. So that's where I'm thinking the over. Like you said, Zary's been probably one of the most exciting Flames players to watch. So that's something that I've kind of been watching and looking at. So I think it's going to be a good game. I like to Foley scoring against the Flames, like you said too. That seems to be a prominent thing. So hopefully it's not a comebacker for the Flames. I just want to see a good, entertaining game.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is a hard side for me. I'll tell you what, if it's like I say, the one combination I could see betting on New Jersey would be Schmid versus Vladar. That's the one where I could see maybe leaning New Jersey pretty hard. But if it's Vanacek versus Wolf, I lean Calgary really hard in this game. That's the way I look at it here. That's why I think the draw, just right for now, just the draw. For now, just the over in this game. No question about that. Yeah, Beachy Cuban, great question. He's back with us after the All-Star break, essentially, because he's doing a lot of shit right now, training, coaching, all that stuff on weekends. So like he already told me a long time ago, Kevin, that he'd have a tough time joining us on the show first half of the season. But yeah, post All-Star break, second half and postseason, he'll be back definitely in the rotation. Our guy, Kevin Beach, the player prop master, because we know player props are definitely his thing as far as betting is concerned. All right, let's get to the rest of the games. We've got evening matchups now, Ottawa and Detroit. We've got the Detroit Red Wings minus 125. Home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. This is an obvious over for me personally with these two teams right here. Now, unfortunately, it's juiced pretty heavy. I mean, and I know in Alex's case, if he likes the over here, he's probably going to wait for something live. But over 6.5, around minus 135, minus 140 in some spots is what we're looking at here. But definitely, this is a full game over. This is a both teams to score in the first period kind of game. As well, in my opinion, tonight. Now, the one concern is, look, Detroit had a 4-0 lead. They blew it and gave up 4 goals in the very same period. So maybe they really try to shore up defensively, play a tight game tonight. But I just don't know if it's in them right now to do it because they have been flying over the total, especially their last 3 games, 5-4, 5-3, 6-5. Plus, they're scoring in bunches right now. This Detroit team, their last 7 games, they have scored at least 4 goals in 7 of the last 8 games, rather, going into this game tonight. So absolutely, I think we'll see goals galore, both sides. So first period, both teams to score over 6.5 full game. Feel like good looks here for me in this game tonight with the Sens and the Red Wings. I believe as well, series history has been huge over the total as well. 8-2 in the last 10 meetings to the over between the Senators and Red Wings, including 4 straight overs, 6-2, 6-1, 5-2, 5-4. In the last 4 meetings. So everything points to over. It's better not be one of those games where it's 3-1 at the end of the night. But it'd be surprising. Let's put it that way if that's the case. Alex, what do you think here? Senators, Red Wings.
So, yeah, I'm going both teams to score in the first period, plus 135. It's a little bit shorter than what we like, but we'll grab that. Like I said, that's the best way to attack the first period. Then as far as full game over goes, we're looking for either a 6-in game at plus money or 5.5 laying the 130. If you're going to lay 130, you might as well get a full goal off and lay that. So I think we can wait within 3 or 4 minutes and be able to either get the 6 at plus money or get that 5.5 laying the price. And that would go over.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, Brady Tkachuk, Cuban, he's loving scoring everywhere right now, on the road, everywhere at the moment for the Ottawa Senators. So anything with him's probably a solid look right now. Giroux is starting to heat up for them. Tarasenko got out of his funk a couple nights ago. Tim Stützle has just been, and Norris is starting to get it going again. And Tim Stützle, just from start to finish, has been ultra consistent. For Detroit, again, I say go back to the well with it, because if anything, Kane's going to get more comfortable. And DeBrincat, I think DeBrincat is going to play well tonight, because DeBrincat, shockingly, he had a very quiet night by his standards against, a San Jose team where it seemed like everybody was involved for Detroit except him. He had a very, very subpar quiet night against San Jose. I would go back to that. We got a plus 300 same game parlay the other night with that Kane assist to Brinkett goal, same game parlay. I think it still makes a lot of sense. Kane looking to facilitate to Brinkett the finisher. You could see that. So maybe give that parlay a shot one more time tonight. Kane assist to Brinkett goal. Joe Veleno's on that line as well. Once again, probably worth a look. Robbie Fabry goes without saying. We've talked Robbie Fabry endlessly with Detroit every single game lately. He's been absolutely outstanding with Larkin and Raymond. So keep an eye on those guys. Maybe there's a little sleeper. We've talked about that Sprong. We've talked about him. But how about Michael Rasmussen for the Detroit Red Wings? He's got 3 goals and 4 points in the last 2 games. So there's a new bargain bin candidate that's entered the mix here for Detroit the last 2 games, Michael Rasmussen. So maybe a little sleeper, a little flyer on him as well tonight in this game. What do you think here, Zach? Good one here, Ottawa, Detroit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I don't know what San Jose's been drinking lately, but both those last games they've had comebacks on both their wins, so that was pretty insane. But I don't really have anything on this game too much. I think I'm going to throw a little bit on Patty Kane to score. I think he's going to get a little more comfortable tonight. So that's kind of what I like. I'm also a Patty Kane fan, so that's the only money I'm putting on this game is for Patty Kane to get his first as a wing at home. So maybe even put a little on power play point.
Yeah,
not
no
be a
doubt.
bad play either.
Yeah.
I absolutely could see that happening. No question.
I think he's only at plus 180 for any time goal score. I would assume power play points.
I've seen plus 230s and plus 240s, which I'm like, wow, it's pretty interesting. Obviously, that's the lowest you'll see Kane listed. But my thing is that if he goes
plus 240 at Sports Interaction, Canadian book, but yeah, plus 240 is the best I see right now. Yeah.
If he continues to struggle, we might start seeing him in that bargain bin range.
Yeah.
Which is odd to think about.
Coming soon to a bargain bin special of the night segment here on the Ice Guys. Patrick Kane at plus 350 maybe in a couple weeks.
Let's hope
maybe.
It's not good for Detroit or for him for that matter if he goes that fucking long without scoring. That's for sure.
I think they'll be all right. I think Detroit's undercover, pretty good team. I don't know what happened in that last game, but they've been playing some good hockey. I think they're scoring at the second highest rate in the NHL right now. So we'll see. Maybe the Lion will have another really good game tonight, and they'll start riding him a little bit more.
Yeah, he's going to get, like I say, he's coming off hip surgery. So we've got to be somewhat patient with him, let him get his sea legs under him. And I'm sure eventually you're going to see, improved play as things go on. I don't think we have goalies confirmed yet here in this. We have Lyon actually confirmed in net for the Detroit Red Wings and Jonas Korpisalo in goal for the Ottawa Senators. Alex Lyon is making a case for more playing time. And this is not an indictment of Husso. And remember, Husso just had a son, or his wife gave birth to their kid, their son, and he returned from that the last game. And probably not his best effort against San Jose, clearly. But yeah, Lyon has been good. Lyon's been really solid in net for the Red Wings. That's the one concern I'd have about the over, but I still think it can get there with as far as goals tonight in this game. All right, Nashville and Toronto. We've got the Leafs minus 160, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this one here. The Leafs, have credit to them. I mean, that was a game where Joe Woll gets injured. He leaves the game. Martin Jones has to take over in between the pipes for the Leafs against Ottawa. They gut it out. They find a way to hang on for a 4-3 win against the Senators the other night. And we found a confirmation earlier from Sheldon Keefe that it's going to be week to week for Joe Woll. So it's not season ending. They're not even saying it may be a full month or two that he's out. It could just be a couple of weeks. So it kind of sounds like the Leafs have escaped anything, the worst case scenario. They've escaped that with Joe Woll, which is great news for them because he's played so well for the Leafs since he's been obviously up with the team here at the NHL level. He's been really solid. Ilya Samsonov looks like he's going to be in net and returning from an illness, a long illness absence for the Leafs. So we'll see how he fares. He hasn't had a great season. And he hasn't started in a game since November the 24th. I mean, that's nearly 2 weeks ago, the last time we saw Samsonov in a game. So it's been a long time for him. And again, his numbers this year, he's got a 4-1 record, believe it or not, like a solid win-loss record, but he doesn't have the stats to go with it. 3.58 goals against, 878 save percentage. So he's missed the last few games with this illness. He's finally back, feeling healthy again, 100%, and back in net tonight for the Leafs. We'll see who's in net for Nashville. Starting to get a hint we could see Kevin Lankinen tonight in net for Nashville. Remember, they're on a back-to-back. They're in Montreal tomorrow night. So it's going to be either Lankinen or Saros, but I'm seeing projections that it might be Lankinen getting the start here for Nashville tonight in this game. Being said, the Leafs, whenever they're laying this kind of price, again, especially when they're playing a non-conference team, do you know how many home games they've lost in this scenario? They've lost a bunch of them. I wouldn't feel comfortable with the Leafs. I think, in this spot, Nashville plus price is worth a small look. Draw goes without saying. I said it the other day, Toronto Maple draws, and that game nearly did go to overtime against Ottawa the other night. Leafs hanging on, just narrowly missed OT in that Leafs-Senators game on Thursday night. But prior to that, this has been a Leaf team that's been just one close game after another, one overtime game after another. Toronto still has gone to OT or shootout in 5 of their last 7 games. So they're 5-2 to the draw, cashing in the last 7 games. So for me, this is going to be a Nashville and draw split. Probably a little bit on the over, too. I don't love the over in this game, but a little bit on it here, over 6.5 in this one with the Preds and the Leafs. Maybe a first period, both teams to score. We know we have seen that from Nashville games lately in the first period as well. So a little first period BTTS, little over 6.5, but primarily Nashville and draw split for me here tonight. What do you think here, Alex? Predators, Leafs.
Yeah, definitely still riding the draw with the Leafs. Got that at plus 335 this morning at Bet Online. Also going with that both teams to score in the first period. You can get that at plus 150. And like the first period over, laying $1.40. We'll grab it early with that first period over. We had 1.5. Like I said, this Nashville team with Kevin Lankinen, they've been fairly well, but I think his true regression is about to come. We're going to see him lay a couple of eggs in some of these starts. This could be one of those spots. Like, we can't trust Toronto at home on a Saturday night. They usually have these moments where they'll, find themselves down 3-1 after 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden bounce back and win 6-5 in overtime. Crazy shit happened with the Leafs on a Saturday. So we just relying with the draw, staying off of the sides, and going with both teams to score first period and the first period over.
All right, first period, both teams to score and over first period for Alex here. Yeah, of course. Undoubtedly, Ryan O'Reilly's got to be a proxy bet in this game. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Absolutely, you got to go with Ryan O'Reilly here tonight. Former Leaf, briefly a former Leaf, only for second half of the season last year. But still, and plus, you know what I think, too, deep down inside? He got criticism from the media and some fans that he can't handle the pressure of Toronto, doesn't want the smoke, can't handle the smoke, playing in the pressure market of Toronto. That's why he bolted and signed with Nashville in the offseason. He heard that. So I think he'd love nothing more than to go into Toronto tonight, do some damage here against the Leafs. And he did do damage against the Leafs in Nashville when they played earlier this season already, the Predators and the Leafs. So it makes total sense. O'Reilly props tonight.
In 27 games, he has 13 goals against Toronto Maple Leafs.
No doubt, yeah. So that's an obvious prop tonight, no question about that. And really for Nashville, anyone that's Forsberg or O'Reilly or Nyquist, Evangelista starting to pick it up. Don't sleep on Yakov Trenin. I mean, you could go in a bunch of good directions, different directions for props for the Nashville Predators tonight in this game. Keep that in mind. For the Leafs, it's been more the big guns lately. Matthews, Marner, Marner stepped up. Nylander got on the board the other night, so we'll see how that goes. And again, they're still decimated on the blue line. Klingberg's done for the year. Liljegren's still nowhere close to coming back. Giordano's on IR. So they got to rely a lot on Connor Timmins, Max Lajoie, and Simon Benoit on that blue line. So there's no wonder Brad Treliving working the phones to upgrade that D right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Zach, what do you think here? Nashville, Toronto.
Yeah, I'm liking Nashville in this one. They've been hot lately. I think the Leafs are going to struggle with Samsonov in net. Kind of thinking on my second period, Leafs minus 0.5. I think they might come out a little slow. I think Nashville's going to get rolling, and then Leafs are going to claw back in the second, and we'll see what happens in the third. So I'm going with my little second period minus 0.5 on the Leafs.
Yeah, he has been. You know what? To be honest with you, that's a good point in the chat there. Simon Benoit and Lajoie and Lagesson and some of these depth defensemen, they're not going to be able to play this consistently and well like for months on end. But right now, they're giving every ounce of what they've got, and they have definitely performed better than a lot of people think. And he's physical, Benoit in particular. He's throwing his weight around. He's been solid in his own zone. No mistakes, no turnovers, not caught out of position. Just the little things. He's doing well on the defensive end of the ice right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, helping them even with all these injuries, this myriad, deluge, if you will, of injuries they've got on the blue line. All right, Montreal, Buffalo. We've got Buffalo minus 180, home favorite, 6.5 the total. In this game, I'm not laying a price of this magnitude with Buffalo. I'm actually trying to talk myself into Montreal here in this game because this is not ever a price range where I'm thrilled to lay it with Buffalo, especially at home. We have seen this team, not very good, I think, in this bigger favorite range the few times we've seen them in it, especially at home. Now they're off a big win against Boston, 3-1, but just consistency has just been not there for this team at all. I mean, that's why it's hard to wrap your head around laying minus 180 with the Buffalo Sabres tonight, because stringing good performances together has been just an exercise in futility for them, and they were going to have to show it to me before we get on board with that line of thinking. So, you look at it for Buffalo coming into this game. I'm just looking at the last several games here. They beat San Jose, they lose the next game again, or they beat Chicago, they lose to Washington, they beat Pittsburgh, they lose to New Jersey, they beat the Rangers, they lose to St. Louis. That's been the pattern. Win one, lose one. They just cannot put two good games in a row together. So can't lay this price here with the Buffalo Sabres. And they've also, believe it or not, had some struggles lately with Montreal. Montreal's already gone to Buffalo this year, beat them 3-1. Montreal's won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings between these teams. 3 straight wins for Montreal in Buffalo against the Sabres. There'll be a shit ton of Habs fans there. There always is. So for me, this is probably hate to be fucking repetitive, but dog and draw split, yeah, probably would be for me if I'm betting this game. Montreal Buffalo plus 150 for the Habs, and probably looking the draw in that plus 360 range is what we're looking at with the draw here in this one. Alex, anything here? Habs, Sabres.
No, this is gonna be a pass for me on a big card tonight. I'm not gonna really kind of stretch around. I'm looking at first period over trends, but nothing sticking out here with the draw either. Like you said, I'd rather like to back the Sabres as a dog on the road rather than a big favorite at home. So it's a pass.
Yeah. Now, Montreal's no great shakes. We do want to point that right now. They've struggled. Yeah. They get blanked by LA. LA's excellent, though. They did beat Seattle at home. They almost beat Detroit at home, too. So, and on the road, if you look at it, the Canadians have actually played better on the road lately. That West Coast trip, Anaheim, San Jose, Columbus, they win 3 of those games. The only ones they lost were Boston and LA. No shame in either of those losses because obviously very good teams. So I think Montreal's live in this game. Whether they win's another story, but I think they're live. They're in it and have a chance, no doubt. All right, good stuff. Zach, Zach, I think might just be audio only right now because I told him with his sciatic pain, if you feel you got to lay down and that, just turn your camera off. We'll get you with audio only. But Zach, what do you think here? Montreal, Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm just going for a little walk around the house because I get so stiff. I'm gonna ride with the Canadians. I'm liking Montreal. I think Buffalo's inconsistent. They had a good game on the last one that they played, but I'm going to ride with Montreal on the road here, just straight money line, sprinkle a little bit on that, but that's really it. I didn't look too much into this game. Doesn't really interest me too much, but I think the Habs are going to have a good one tonight.
Caden Primo, by the way, will get the start tonight in net for the Montreal Canadiens. So, again, they've still got 3 goaltenders on this team right now, Jake Allen and Caden Primo and obviously Samuel Montembeault. So, I don't know. That's got to change at some point. There's a trade coming. So Montreal is trading a goaltender away at some point here. It's just a question of which one. But Primo's usually getting a start every 3 or 4 games. Even though Montembeault and Allen see more opportunities, Primo. The one thing that would concern me though is 3.73 goals against, .886 save percentage for Primo coming into this start here against Buffalo tonight. So we'll see how he fares here in this one. He's showed some glimpses, of really strong play in net, but it hasn't always been consistent. For props in this game, I say Dylan Cousins, JJ Peterka, really hone in on those 2 guys because Cousins is going to score at some point. This is insanity. How many chances he's getting, and the puck's not going in the last several games for him. But he's doing the right things. He's getting the chances. He's playing hard like he always does. Eventually, the puck's going to go in for Dylan Cousins. And obviously, Peterka has been their most consistent scorer, honestly, lately for the Buffalo Sabres. All right, Rangers and Capitals. Next up, we've got the Rangers minus 180, road favorite, 6 the total. This is my pass game of the night. I mean, I don't want Washington. I don't want anything to do with betting Washington right now. They've obviously started to slide back down again after that little hot streak they had, which is predictable. You knew they weren't going to keep that up. And sure enough, they have lost 3 in a row since that win streak. Vegas, Arizona, and Dallas. Although they battled Dallas pretty tough, but ended up blowing a lead, losing in a shootout 5-4. Rangers are the better team, and you get the Rangers off a loss too, 6-2 against Ottawa, but I don't want to lay this price either with the Rangers, and they have a huge showdown with the LA Kings, one of the best in the East versus one of the best in the West, head-to-head tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. So not exactly the greatest of spots to either endorse a number and price like this with the Rangers either. So pretty clear and easy pass for me here, Rangers Capitals tonight. Looks like as far as goaltending goes here in this game, we're looking at Charlie Lindgren back in net for Washington, which tells you all you need to know about how much they like the way he's played compared to Darcy Kemper, who's been a lot more erratic. We don't have confirmation yet for the Rangers, but projections of Shesterkin, which makes sense because I think Peter Laviolette would be crazy not to give Jonathan Quick the start against his old team, the LA Kings, tomorrow night. What do you think here, Zach? Rangers Capitals.
I'm going to go with the Rangers -1.5 in this one. I don't think Washington's a very good hockey club, so that's kind of just where my head is at with that bet. If Quick is getting the start, I like that. Last game I was betting on the Rangers, I thought Quick was getting the start and he didn't get it, so it kind of disappointed me because I like Jonathan Quick and he's been really good this year. So I think the only thing I'll probably do is a little -1.5 on the Rangers on the road. I like the value for it.
All right, liking the Rangers -1.5. And John Massey, our guy, our resident Rangers fan, knows his team well. He's saying tonight maybe the Rangers give up a few. Maybe not win the game. Maybe not Washington win the game, but Washington score a couple of goals. Well, they did against Dallas the other night. They scored 4 goals. So Washington team total over for John Massey. And again, I wanted to put that up on the screen because he's a Rangers fan. He sees this team every single game, every single time they take the ice. So his Rangers game opinions matter more than the most. So Washington team total over 2.5 here that's not bad. It's a cheap number, cheap price. And they did score 4 against Dallas, and the Rangers do have a bigger game on deck tomorrow night against the LA Kings. So definitely things to keep in mind. Alex, what do you think here, New York and Washington?
Well, I'm thrilled to see that it's going to be Shesterkin starting in this game, most likely, which means that we'll be getting Quick tomorrow for Rangers against Kings. That's going to be an absolute fun game to watch. This one may not be as entertaining, but I think we see goals here. I'm taking a shot at the over 6. There's some 5.5s around. If you've seen a 5.5, I would suggest grabbing a little bit now and then waiting to try to grab plus money for a large. Maybe go 20% now and then 80% once the game starts and get that plus price. If you have a 5.5, you have a 6. Have a 6 now at a price. I think that's fine. Also, liking both teams to score in the first period plus 175. That's a good number. Especially combine that with first period over 1.5 or just -120 at Caesar. So I'm going with those 3, and I'm going to take a small shot with the Rangers in regulation. Got plus 110. I think this game, like I said, Capitals they'll hang around early, but I think the Rangers will kind of pull away a little bit late. Maybe get an empty net goal. So maybe this is one of those puck line kind of games too. We can sprinkle a little. We don't play those too much because you see teams. I don't know if you saw it a couple of nights ago. More missed empty nets. It's like 5 years now with this trend of these teams that just can't find the empty net. Where's Tristan Jarry when you need him? I'm
Tristan Jarry to score a goal, or last year Linus Ullmark. Right. Let's get them to score.
Exactly. Yeah, you got goalies scoring, but you got regular skaters that can't find the back of the net. It's infuriating when you need an over. Sometimes it's infuriating, but I digress. We'll go with Rangers relation. First period over 1.5 -120. Both teams score in the first period plus 175. That's at Bet Online, and we're also going to go with the over 6.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, Benjamin. It's true. Alex with more bets in a game than Ian. Yeah, it does happen every now and
then. It's rare, but it doesn't.
Rarely, but it did happen here with this Rangers and Capitals game. All right, we go from one New York team to another. LA Kings, New York Islanders. We've got the Kings -145, road favorites, 6 the total, shaded to the under. This is a worrisome spot for me for LA. They just got the record for most consecutive road wins to start a season in NHL history. They've got the record, regardless of what happens here. I don't trust them to have their best effort. If there's ever a night where they're going to just be lethargic, it might be tonight here against the Islanders. I don't want the LA Kings tonight, but I also still don't really want to go against that undefeated mark, and especially with a team like the Islanders, man. No, not interested. Not interested. Just not good enough, in my opinion, even after they bombed Columbus the other night. I still don't fully trust this group. They have totally changed their MO and their DNA, if you will. They're all offense, no defense right now. It's crazy. Like, they're actually scoring a lot of goals right now, the New York Islanders, but they continue to have some issues as far as keeping the puck out of their net at the moment, the Islanders, and it continues day in, day out, game in and game out. So for me, this is this is maybe a lean to the draw, but I don't know if I'll bet it. I certainly don't want either side. I don't want the Kings in this spot after getting the record and with the Rangers on deck, big game tomorrow night. And I don't want the Islanders at all either, even though the spot's probably in their favor tonight. I'm going to go with the over here, just because I think this is a night the Kings' staunch defense maybe takes not the night off, but, look, the Ranger game tomorrow night's huge. I could see them, really not as focused, not as locked in defensively tonight, the LA Kings in this game against the Islanders. Even with Cam I'm actually surprised Cam Talbot's in net. I thought Cam would be in net against the Rangers. I don't know what McClellan's doing there. I like what Laviolette's doing with Quick against his old team. Rangers are one of Talbot's old teams. Would you not want Talbot to start tomorrow night? But Talbot's in net tonight for the Kings, which means maybe it's Copley tomorrow night, which to me, again, makes zero sense. And I like Todd. Todd's done a hell of a job. Todd's a good coach, but I got to call him out for this one. This to me makes zero sense, not using Talbot tomorrow night, unless they're going to throw Talbot in back-to-back, but that's highly unlikely. Ilya Sorokin in net for the Islanders, and, he hasn't been as good this year, 3.19 goals against, 911 save percentage, but I think it's more the defense is awful in front of him compared to what it's been the last couple of years, more than Sorokin is not playing as well. So don't fight it. Islanders are an over machine right now. Continue to go over the total every single recent game. So that's what I'm looking at. And there's a 5.5 in a couple of books right now, and that's what I'm going to look at. Mostly sixes, but shop around. I see 5.5 at PointsBet, 5.5 at FanDuel, 5.5 at Bet99, and a couple other places with this total. Shop around. You can get 5.5 with this total, and that's what I'm looking at. Over 5.5 here, Kings and Islanders. Zach, what do you like here? LA Kings, New York Islanders.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be 100% honest. I'm kind of siding with you a little bit that LA's got the record. Maybe they're going to come out a little flat. Islanders have been a little wonky this year. You said they're scoring at a higher rate, letting up a lot of goals. So I think I'm going to go with the first period over. And then I'm probably going to even go just a little bit money line first period on the Kings. I don't know how the rest of the game's going to pan out, but just going to stick with a couple first period bets on this one, I think.
All right, good stuff. And like I said, I like over 5.5 here in this one. Let me see what the series history.
I would even go towards over a 6.
Yeah.
LA's been scoring a lot too, man. I think
LA
be up there if they're not the highest scoring team in the NHL.
Yeah. LA's is improved offensively this year, though. There's no question. We'll see if that continues. Has
Dubois been doing anything there? I haven't really been following too much.
He has been quiet. He's been a little quieter lately, Dubois.
Yeah.
But it's okay because, and speaking of props, you got to go with the hot hand here for LA. Quentin Byfield, man. He's been absolutely tearing it up.
Scored a beauty.
Oh, man. What a goal. What a beautiful end-to-end rush goal he scored against Montreal the other night. It was an absolute thing of beauty.
And his player prop goal, I got on Bet365 at plus 320 for any time goal. That's pretty good value with how he's been playing.
No kidding. The way he's playing right now, 4 goals in the last 3 games, 5 points in the last 3 games for Quentin Byfield. The man has arrived, folks. This was a first-round talent, first-round pick. And people were starting to say, oh, what's going on? Why is it so slow, his development? Well, they're not complaining anymore. Sometimes just you got to be patient, like with Lafreniere in New York. You got to be patient sometimes with these guys. And right now they are Quentin Byfield has got his confidence back. And credit to McClellan. He's put him with top-line players, top-line minutes with Kopitar and Kempe, and that's really accelerated his progress as well. So that's why I like Todd as a coach. What I don't like about Todd as a coach is why the fuck is Talbot in tonight when
maybe he's just going to ride him 2 in a row.
Which would maybe unless Talbot's going to play back-to-back, Zach.
Maybe Copley's something's going on with him where he's not playing regardless. You just never really know these days,
That's true.
No, you don't.
That's true.
You don't. Maybe there's an injury or look, the illness is going around. Maybe there's an illness for Copley.
Yeah, just something small, and they're thinking he'll get days off after these 2 in a row. Who knows?
I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm looking at betting the Rangers tomorrow. So I personally like the way this is lined up. So
There you go. All right. What do you think here, though, for this one, Alex? Kings Islanders.
yeah, with this game, I definitely like to look with the over at 6. Definitely like in the first period over 2. There's actually a trend 6-3 the last 9. And these two teams meeting to the first period over. So those are things I would play a bit small. And I'm gonna go back to the well on this. I hit it earlier this week with the Kings. Needed a miracle to get it. I don't think it's gonna be as dramatic this time, but I'm going with that correct score. I'm going 3-3 again at plus 1,300. But I'm also going to even sprinkle a little bit on 4-4 correct score, 60 minutes, plus 2,700. I think we could see this one go back and forth and get out of hand. This could be one of those games that finds itself kind of going into OT. So with that being said, I'm also on the draw here. I grabbed that at plus 340. Make sure to shop around and at least get 3-1 odds or higher on your overtimes. I'm seeing BetMGM in a couple places dealing 290 on the draw. So do not do that. Never shortchange yourself. Always go plus 300 or higher whenever you're betting on a regulation draw. So we're doing the regulation draw. We're taking a couple of correct score shots at 3-3 and 4-4 tie. And then we're also going with the full game and first period overs.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's just another Islanders draw. We're going to go with that small bet. Nothing on the side, just a small draw and over 5.5 for me. In this one with Kings and Islanders and Byfield props, of course. Got to go that direction. He has just been, like I say, sensational here the last few games for the LA Kings. And again, credit to Todd McClellan, putting him with 2 of the best players on the team. That's a played a big hand and a big role in getting him going. No question about that. All right, next up, we've got the old school Central Division rivalry here. St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks down at the Madhouse on Madison. We've got St. Louis minus 130, road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Back-to-back for the Blues after really a bad game. Well, not a bad game because, look, I got to tip my cap to Jet Greaves and playing solid last night. Faced 43 St. Louis shots, played well. They really helped him out as well. I thought they made life a little easier on him, made sure he could see the puck, but he had to make a couple of really big time saves too, and give him credit, and give Columbus credit with again the illness going through their team, and they managed to still end up winning that game 5-2 last night against St. Louis. Now it's a back-to-back situation for the Blues here. Let me just take a quick glance here at St. Louis's track record this year on a back-to-back. They had a back-to-back October 26 and 27. They lost the second of the back-to-back there. They had a back-to-back November 3 and 4. They did win the back-to-back there in that one. They did win the back-to-back November 18, 19, LA and Anaheim. So actually they're 2-1 on a back-to-back this year, the Blues, in 3 situations like this. That being said, Chicago, and we've started to notice this with them lately, their best efforts have been on home ice. Really, the Buffalo game, they barely lost. They beat Toronto. They lost to St. Louis at home a few weeks ago, but they beat Seattle after that, lost to Nashville in a shootout earlier this week, game that they could have won. It was pretty even, and then they get the 1-0 shutout against the Anaheim Ducks in their last home game. So, with this being a back-to-back on the road for the Blues and Chicago playing at least better competitive hockey, winning some games at least a little bit here at home lately. Mrazek in net, a stunning shutout for him against Anaheim the other night. We'll see if he can back it up with another good performance. I think it's safe to say that even though Mrazek is hit or miss, we don't always know what we're going to get from him. He had really struggled before that shutout against Anaheim. He's still superior to Soderblom right now for the Chicago Blackhawks. So I lean Chicago here. I haven't bet it yet. Not sure I will, but I lean that way. Blackhawks here as a small home underdog. Alex, what do you think here? Blues, Blackhawks.
Yeah, so you mentioned that Peter Mrazek started tonight. That means Albert Soderblom is starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on a Sunday against the Washington Capitals. Bet that accordingly. We're going with the Hawks tonight, plus 110. We're going with both teams to score in the first period, plus 160, and we're going with that first period over 1.5. We're laying in the $1.30. You could wait and grab that plus money if you are betting stuff live, or you can grab that beforehand. 130 is the cutoff point there. So anything 130 or better, bet it now. Otherwise, you see something a little higher, wait and grab that again.
All right, like in Chicago and like in those first period over, and both teams looks in the first period as well with the Blues and the Blackhawks. Zach, what do you think here, St. Louis, Chicago?
Yeah, I'm also liking the Hawks as well today. I'm also going to take them score in the first 10 minutes of the game. I like that. Not
Oh,
sure
very
what the
good.
total is on this one, but I
6.
don't know if it's going to be crazy high scoring, to be honest. I think it's going to come out hot and then kind of everyone's going to settle in and it's going to be a slow game. But I also like Connor Bedard put a little tiny bit on first goal of the game. Superstars like to do that at home, so he's becoming one.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So
I
that's
think
the
you can
first
get that at
goal.
like plus 900.
Yeah, you'll get probably, I was about to say, probably 9-10 to 1 ballpark estimate as to what you would probably get on a Connor Bedard first goal prop in this game. So, yeah, it's about right. 9-10 to 1 for Connor Bedard, the first goal of the game tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, for me, it's, nothing on the total. And for me, just a little bit of a lean here toward the Chicago Blackhawks here in this one. All right, next up, we go to the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. It's Philadelphia taking on Colorado. We've got the Avalanche minus 200, home favorites, 6 the total here in this one. I'm telling you what, I cashed a ticket against Colorado at home in their last game against the Winnipeg Jets, a 4-2 win for Winnipeg. They put the win in Winnipeg, essentially. There's a banged-up Colorado team right now. There is no question about that. Val Nichushkin day-to-day. They've obviously without still Gerard. Lehkonen is out. Landeskog's done. We'll see if he's back, but he's got the illness going. We'll see if he comes back. They did get Cale Makar back in the game against Winnipeg the other night, but still ended up losing. I just don't want to lay this kind of a price right now with Colorado, as shorthanded as they are, and especially with Philadelphia playing some really good hockey at the moment. Let's give the Flyers credit. John Tortorella was right. He said like a few games ago, we do stupid shit. We do things that are frustrating and not the right way to play, but we got balls, he said, after one of those games last. They do. He's right. They play hard. They rarely take nights off. They rarely take shifts off. And this has been a great run for them. 6-4 in the last 10. They've won 3 straight games, twice against Pittsburgh, 4-1 win against what had been a surging Arizona team in their last game. They're playing really well. What's the reason for that is, they're getting good goaltending from Hart and Ersson. The defensive play has been solid. The penalty kill has been really good. They've given up 1 power play goal in the last 9 games, the Philadelphia Flyers. So that's going to go a long way to helping you out here going into this one tonight. As far as winning games, and they're getting contributions from multiple people in their lineup right now. Tyson Forster's been big. Konechny all season's been solid. Owen Tippett, Joel Farabee. You go on down the list, they've got multiple people helping them out offensively at the moment for the Flyers. So I don't love the idea of betting against Colorado off a loss at home and playing at home again, but these Flyers are nothing for me at this price in this game with the way they're playing here. And keep in mind, too, when you look at the head-to-head matchups here, Philly they split the 2 meetings last year. Philly won 5-3 at home. The game in Colorado was very close. In fact, the Flyers outshot the Avs 28-25 last year when these teams played at Ball Arena, even though it was a 3-2 win for Colorado. So they've been tough on Colorado. So this would be a dog and or draw look for me in this game. And the draw, by the way, I should point out, for Philly has been just really strong lately. 4 of their last 6 games have gone past regulation. So Flyers plus draw for me in this one. Alex, what do you think here? Flyers, Avs.
Yeah, I am definitely on the draw in this spot, and I would lean toward Philly. It's tough for me to get there. I'm seeing plus 155 to plus 160. I could have grabbed 180, 185 last night. Shout out to Pearl of Wisdom. He was on a stream last night and actually talked about this game, and I think he grabbed plus 185 or plus 190 last night. So, if you can't, obviously if you aren't looking at overnights, you can't grab it, so you don't worry about it. But for me, I feel like I'm missing that 25 cents of value, and that would be the point where I'd be looking to bet. Like I said, it's hard to fade Colorado, especially at home, and off of a loss. But that would be the price range in which I would do it. So I'm slightly getting priced out of this money line, but I'm looking around at some of the books, and this is kind of just a betting strategy here with this game. ESPN Bet, which is, of course, was formerly Barstool Sportsbook, they have plus 170, which is the highest price I'm seeing right now. So if you're in a state that offers ESPN Bet, maybe you don't have an account with them. Maybe today's the day to open one, and you can use one of their boosts or something on that plus 170. So that's just something to kind of look for when we talk about with these new books and the new market, some of these betting boosts. you want to try and identify certain things to bet on. So maybe this would be a good excuse to open up an account there and grab the highest and best of the number, and you can use some kind of a boost, whatever they offer, to bet on this game. So I'm taking the draw, but that was just a little thought that I had looking at some of the better prices on the market.
Yeah, the draw again is really. I'm looking at Philadelphia. I'm going to actually. I've brought it up. Philadelphia's season results to this point. I am going to go through every road game that they've played since October 21st, and it's impressive because their overall road record entering tonight is 8-4-1. So it's a pretty good road record for a team we don't think is that great, Philadelphia. But they're 8-4-1 on the road. Here's what they've done on the road this year. At Dallas, lost in overtime. Could have won that game. In fact, they led in that game and they blew a lead. 5-4, they lost in overtime. At Vegas, 3-2, and they had a lead in that game, and Vegas scored in the final minute. It was a betcast night for us. Could have won that game against Vegas as well. Right there, lost by 1. At Buffalo, they won 5-1. At L.A., they won 4-2 against the mighty Kings on the road. At Carolina, they win 3-1. At Pittsburgh, 4-3. I mean, against really good teams on the road this year, the Philadelphia Flyers have either won or they've lost barely, like by 1 goal to Vegas on the road, 1 goal at Dallas in overtime. So look at that track record for the Philadelphia Flyers on the road against quality competition, quality foes. It's been impressive, that body of work. We'll see if they can continue that trend and give Colorado a game here tonight. All right, next up, we've got Carolina and Vancouver. We've got Carolina minus 130, road favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game, Canes and Canucks. I'm going to look to Vancouver here. I mean, there's something off with Carolina right now. Carolina, they could win this game, Carolina, clearly, obviously. But Carolina's not playing at the level right now where, in my opinion, I've got that where they're not playing at a level where I don't have them as road favorites in this game right now. I've got this closer to pick them. In fact, I'd go maybe Vancouver minus 110 to minus 115 in this game. That's about where I had this game. Not Carolina minus 130 road favorites here against Vancouver. Remember, Carolina, in that game, they blew the 2-0 lead and lost to Calgary on Thursday night 3-2. In that game, they were minus 130 or so road favorites, minus 135 against Calgary. Well, Vancouver's better than Calgary right now. So to me, this price is just a little off the mark. To me, Carolina's not a team that I would put as a minus 130 road favorite. I would not install them at that price against the Vancouver Canucks. So I like Vancouver just based on the value, just based on the price. Plus 110. They got back on track after beating after losing to New Jersey, in the Hughes Bowl. They got back on track, shutting out Minnesota 2-0 in their last game. Now, they have been win-loss their last 10 games. They've had a harder time stringing 2 wins in a row together. But I think that can end tonight. There's a crisis of confidence at the moment with Carolina, an embarrassment against Edmonton. Yes, they had the better start against Calgary on the back-to-back after Rod Brind'Amour ripped them in the interview with TNT and post-game after that Edmonton game, and then they just cannot hold the lead. There are problems right now with Carolina, and more importantly, their big guns are nowhere to be found. Aho's been quiet. Teravainen is in a slump. Jarvis has had a disappointing year. Nothing at all from Svechnikov. We talked about that the other day. So I like Vancouver here, plus 110 in this one. Alex, Hurricanes, Canucks.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Vancouver. Like I said, this is, I think, the wrong price, wrong team favorite. Without question, Canucks are in much better form right now, playing well at home. And I get where Canucks have struggled historically against the Canes, but there's been some close games there as well. In fact, 3 of the last 6 meetings have gone past regulation. So this is one where I'd maybe do the old Ian Cameron, go with a dog and draw split. So I'll take the draw here along with Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't mind that whatsoever. Yeah, and for me, as far as props go, talked about the usual suspects, but Rich H is right. Right now, you got, and I bet him the other night against Minnesota. He got one of their goals. Niels Höglander is really in the good books of Rick Tocchet right now. He loves this kid's game. He loves this kid's motor, the work ethic. He goes to the front of the net to score goals. He's consistently gotten more ice time, a promotion up the lineup. He's now getting like 15 minutes a game. This is a guy that got 9, 10, 11 minutes per game time on ice early in the season. He's now getting 14, 15 minutes a game, and he has scored now in back-to-back games for the Vancouver Canucks. Niels Höglander getting goals against both New Jersey and Minnesota. So he's a great bet as far as I'm concerned. That's the best value bet tonight on the board for Vancouver. This guy has gotten the chances galore, goals in back-to-back games, upwards of plus 400 at Patano to score a goal tonight for Vancouver. So excellent value look there. Niels Höglander tonight for the Canucks. What do you think here, Zach? Carolina, Vancouver.
I'm leaning towards the under, I think, in this one. I think it's going to be a tight game. Like you said, I don't know what's going on with Carolina. I had them to win against the Flames the other night just because I figured after Brendan Moore ripped them, they'd bounce back, and it seemed like they kind of did, and then peed it down their leg in the third. So I'm just going to lean towards the under in this one because I think one of the two goalies is going to play well, and someone's going to get out to the lead, and then they'll kind of coast to victory. So, and decent value at under 6.5 or plus 105. I know it's the end of Carolina's road trip and all that, but that's just kind of where my heart's at.
All right, under. A
rare bet for me. I don't bet.
As my guy Cam Stewart says, my good buddy, keep digging in the Undertaker voice. You're not the Undertaker, Paul Bearer voice. Undertaker's manager, yeah. Paul Bearer, keep digging under. As far as this game, and I could see that. Now Demko is likely to be in net, and he's a good bounce back goalie. He didn't play great against New Jersey in the Hughes Bowl, but they didn't play great for him either. That night. But I could see Demko getting back on track with a much-needed good performance tonight. Ronta is projected for Carolina, and I haven't liked what I've seen from him the last several starts. So that's definitely an advantage for Vancouver if Ronta versus Demko ends up being your goaltending matchup here in this game tonight. All right, we have reached the final game of this massive Saturday card. The Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Seattle Kraken. We've got Tampa Bay minus 130, road favorites. The total in this game currently 6, shaded to the over between these two teams. This is an interesting game because we know Seattle's just in an absolutely horrendous funk right now. No question about that. They have been struggling mightily, and it's been everything. It's been consistent defensive play. It's been special teams. It's been goal-scoring problems at times. But I think more so it's been their defensive play and their goaltending lately, and not enough offense at times. And lately now the offense has been the issue. You know, at the start of this 6-game losing streak against Vancouver, Chicago, Toronto, defense and goaltending was an issue. Defense and goaltending played a little bit better the last 3 games, and now they can't score. Scored 3 goals in the last 3 games, Seattle. So all kinds of problems right now for them going into this game. So it's not easy to back Seattle right now. But at the same time, you look at that game against New Jersey for the Seattle Kraken, and we saw a Seattle team that played one of their best games in a while, deserved a better fate, should have won that game, quite honestly, against the New Jersey Devils the other night. They badly outplayed the Devils. I thought they deserved a better fate than that. Should have won the game. Schmid was just immense in the third period, and it ended up being a 2-1 win for the New Jersey Devils. But I saw signs from the Seattle Kraken that maybe they're about to see the light at the end of this dark tunnel of this losing streak. If they play anything like that against the way they did against New Jersey tonight, they got a chance to break the slump, in my opinion. I'm going to take a shot, Seattle here, plus 110. To end the streak, because I just don't. You talk about you can't trust Seattle right now. Can you really trust Tampa Bay on the road? Can you lay a price to Tampa Bay on the road right now? The road record's been brutal. We talked about it the other day. 4-10 now on the road for this team. I mean, just absolutely horrendous play from the Tampa Bay Lightning away from home. Horrendous. So I'm not laying a price with this team on the road. Seattle has anything like the effort they put in against New Jersey. They're winning this hockey game tonight. They're going to bump the slump, get off the schneid if they play like that once again. So Seattle plus 110. I'm going to say the slump ends tonight for the Seattle Kraken. Now, Alex, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Seattle.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I would love to see Seattle go on a nice run and start getting some wins here and, kind of get back into the form that we were expecting at the beginning of the year. But I'm keeping this simple. I'm going with both teams to score in the first period, plus 160, and first period over 1.5, laying 130. I think we see some goals here. We've seen that history in 5 meetings with these two teams. 3 of them have gone over in the first period. And like I said, the Lightning, the troubles have been in goal. Vasilevsky has been hit or miss at times. We've seen him turn into a brilliant vintage Vasilevsky performance, but then have that clunker of a game the start before in Seattle. Like I said, same thing. We've been getting questionable goaltending there. So I could see where this game settles down later, but we definitely get some offense early. So goals the first period over, and both teams score.
All right, first period, both teams to score. And what was the other one? Over? Oh, just over in the first period, right?
Over 1.5, yeah.
All right, there you go. So first period over, both teams to score first period for Alex with Lightning and Kraken. Zach, last game on the board. What do you like? Tampa Bay, Seattle.
I'm with you, and I think Seattle's gonna get the win. Figure out a way to get a win tonight. They totally outperformed the Devils in the third the other night. Couple posts saved them, so I think they're gonna be flying. And like you said, Lightning have been pretty inconsistent. Don't think they've been great on the road, so gonna ride the Kraken tonight.
There we go. Release the Kraken. There we go. Let's go get Seattle back in the win column again. Very disheartening for a team that I know Alex and I both thought could be sleeper in the Western Conference Stanley Cup hunt, and instead they've been asleep. Not a sleeper, but definitely I think when you look at tonight, it's a good chance. And I know we're going to see Vasilevsky, and he's played great the last two starts, but those were at home against Dallas and Pittsburgh. On the road, he's still been a little shaky, Vasilevsky, since he's been back. Probably Grubauer for Seattle, we'll see. And for props in this game, Barré-Boulet scored the other night. You know what? It reminds me of that freaking Prince song whenever I hear his name. Alex Barré-Boulet. He'll score a goal from a second-hand shot. Alex Barré-Boulet. There we go. Reminds me of that song. Raspberry Beret.
Nice.
That song that reminds me of. But Alex Barré-Boulet, I think he might be worth a shot here as far as goal props tonight in this game. And then, of course, for Seattle, I'm going to go back to the well with Ty Cartier, who scored for them the other night against New Jersey, I believe. And he's playing on the top line and not exactly getting priced appropriately with Matty Beniers and Jordan Eberle for the Seattle Kraken. So definitely liking that prop for Cartier again tonight for the Seattle Kraken. Great stuff. What a show. We appreciate everyone joining us. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. 240 live viewers. Before we get to Bargain Bin Special of the night and the Best Bet segment, we do want to remind you we've got our only live bet cast for the month of December coming up on Tuesday night, December the 12th. There it is on screen, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is going to be like an Ice Guys Christmas party as well. Not only a live bet cast. This is going to be our Christmas party, Tuesday, December 12th. It's a great night of hockey that night. So join us for our final live bet cast of 2023 on Tuesday, December the 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us. And again, DM or email either Alex or I for a spot on the betcast, and we will send you the link for the betcast before it begins. So excited for that Tuesday night, our final Ice Guys live betcast for the year. Looking forward to that. And again, patreon.com/Ice Guys, all the content there, including the daily card and player props, just $10 a month. And again, the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You're running out of time, and if you want to get that merch before Christmas Day and be able to put it under the tree for your special person, now's the time to get involved with the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did unlock it. Thanks to Spreadshop. We do have 15% off for the next couple of days as well. So if you're doing your last minute shopping, you want it under the tree before Christmas, now's the time to act. iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You click on the button at the top of the screen. Once you get to the page, hit redeem. You automatically get 15% coupon added to your cart, and you can get whatever you want. We got everything that's fully in stock right now. So definitely check that out. Also, if you're looking for the Skinner shirts, the limited edition toques, the limited edition hoodies, all of that you can find at our Twitter account, _Ice Guys. That link that is pinned at the top of the page, that will take you to the secondary store with the limited edition merch. So don't miss out. You want to order that stuff now so you can have it in time for holidays.
There you go. Check it out, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. All right, what an encore for us to try to follow up yesterday with the Bargain Bin Special of the night, a 2-0 sweep with Adam Fantilli and Evan Bouchard. What have we got for an encore? Not easy to follow that up, but we will attempt to. Alex, we'll start with you first. What do you got for your Saturday Bargain Bin Special?
Yeah, we're going to head to the west side of Chicago You got Blues and Blackhawks, and there's some lineup changes. We don't know who's all going to be slotted in, but we know that Kevin Korchinski is out dealing with a family issue. We also know that Ryan Donato's got a flu bug. Luke Richardson sent him home from practice to make sure he wouldn't get anybody else sick. So that's a huge importance. So with that being said, we might see some things shaking around. I'm going with Nick Foligno, who arguably I'm hoping the Hawks extend him and make him a captain. Love this guy's playing. I love what he's done with all the young guys around in that lineup, in that locker room. You can grab him at DraftKings plus 310 to get a goal tonight. So that's Nick Foligno, anytime goal plus 310 for the Hawks as they take on the Blues. That's my bargain bin special tonight.
All right, excellent stuff. There it is. Nick Foligno plus 310, Chicago Blackhawks. He has played well for them. He's given them everything, little grit, little physical, stick up for teammates. He'll chip in offensively. He'll be a great leader and mentor in the dressing room.
Yes.
It's exactly what they were hoping for from Nick Foligno, and he's delivered it for the Chicago Blackhawks. Zach, you had a winner in your first time on this show a couple Saturdays ago with Mason Marchment for your bargain bin special. What do you got for us today?
I'm going to go with the hot hand, Connor Zary, for anytime goal scorer. Got him at plus 325 on Bet365. Probably could find a little higher value on some different sites, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think that's going to be a high scoring game, and it kind of seems like he's becoming one of the Flames' hot hands. So,
all right, I like it. Connor Zary for the Calgary Flames. As far as the way he's playing right now, he's been great. Scored the last game, of course, as well against Carolina in the comeback win. So, yeah, you can find upwards of plus 350 at FanDuel right now with Connor Zary to find the back of the net. So, really good price there. With him to get on the board tonight. My bargain bin special of the night, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good choices. Lots and lots of good choices here on this slate for me tonight on this card. But I'm going to go back to Carolina, Vancouver, and I'm going to see if I can hit lightning in a bottle with this guy once again after he scored the other night. He scored in back-to-back games right now for the Vancouver Canucks. We'll see if he can find the back of the net here once again tonight. Niels Höglander, Vancouver Canucks, absolutely terrific value. Scored in back-to-back games. You can get him at plus 400 at FanDuel right now to find the back of the net tonight. So Niels Höglander, Vancouver Canucks, plus 400 to find the back of the net tonight. That is going to be my bargain bin special of the night here in this one. By the way, can we stop giving Boston or Arizona all the penalties here in this game so far? No, they can't get into any flow. I mean, what, Boston's an angel team out there? They can't do anything wrong. I mean, I've got this game on and I'm seeing Arizona in the penalty box the whole damn period. Like, come on, let's even this shit out. It's ridiculous.
And yet no goals.
Boston's not doing anything wrong out there.
they just went up 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0 Boston. There.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been in the penalty box the whole period. But I digress. So here we go. Let's recap. Nick Foligno for the Alex B. Smith bargain bin special. We've got Connor Zary for Zach with his bargain bin, and mine is going to be Niels Höglander for the Vancouver Canucks. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this Saturday edition of the show. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, for the best bet, we're actually heading to the Motor City. We're going with the Ottawa Senators, Detroit Red Wings, first period, both teams to score plus 135. This should be an absolute barn burner and a fun one to watch. Tons of offense expected and expecting it early. So let's go Sens, Wings. First period, both teams score plus 135. That's my Saturday best bet.
All right, there we go. And that's a good one. It's actually a bet I'll be on as well. That first period, both teams to score with Ottawa and Detroit. Best bet for Alex B. Smith. Zach Urban, again, a great job in his second stint on the Ice Guys show. Zach, what do you like for best bet?
I'm going Toronto Maple Leafs and Nashville Predators with both teams to score in the first.
All right, there we go. Predators, Leafs, another both teams to score in the first period for best bet.
I like
for
those
Zach
bets.
Urban. Yeah, exactly. And good plus money with them. So Nashville, Toronto, first period, both teams to score for Zach in that game. My best bet for this Saturday card, it's a tough one to really pick out a best bet. There's a lot I like here on this Saturday slate. Let's see what we'll go with here. I'm going to go with Ottawa, Detroit as well, but I'll go full game over with that. Ottawa, Detroit over 6.5, minus 130, minus 135. Series history screams over. Detroit's lighting it up right now, trending over. Ottawa has started to get some offense going again. And I expect a bunch of goals once again tonight with those two teams. So Sens, Red Wings over 6.5 for my best bet for this Saturday card. It's Samsonov in net, Mike. Someone in the chat. Yeah, Ilya Samsonov's the goalie tonight for Toronto, back from his illness absence. So it's Ilya Samsonov in that game for the Leafs. All right, great stuff. That wraps up this edition of the Saturday Ice Guys show. We appreciate it very much. Hit the like button on the way out. And a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Zach, final words from you before we wrap it up.
I'm excited to watch some hockey today. I appreciate you guys having me on again. Hopefully I can hit some bets today.
And we appreciate you playing through some significant pain.
Yeah,
doing what us hockey guys do. We're under the weather. We still find a way to get through it. That's exactly what I did these last few weeks. I felt like a bag of shit some days and still ended up powering through. Got to get these shows done. Got to get the content out there for the masses. So great stuff, Zach, once again. For Alex B. Smith, Zach Urban, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again tomorrow on Sunday for another edition of the Ice Guys.